Welcome to the second lesson in session 3 on the equation and graph of an ellipse. An ellipse is a curve in the shape of a squished circle or an oval. In fact, a circle is a special kind of ellipse. So here's a picture of an ellipse with some of the components drawn in, and we're going to identify the components one by one. First, the center has coordinates h and k. The center you can identify in this ellipse as the intersection of segment AB and segment CD. There are two axes of symmetry. Segment AB is identified as the major axis, and it's called the major axis because it's the longer of the two axes. Segment CD represents the minor axis, and it's the minor axis because it's the shorter of the two axes. There's 4 vertices, which is going to support us and help us in graphing an ellipse, and those are the coordinates A, B, C, and D at the top, bottom, left, and right of the ellipse. And the distance from the center to the major axis vertices is A. And the distance from the center to the minor axis vertices is B. And finally, there's 2 points called the foci, which foci is plural for focus. So there's 2 focus points, which we identify as the foci, F1 and F2. So all of those parts are labeled on this ellipse. Now we introduce standard form of the equation of an ellipse. So there's 2 equations we need to study. The first, where we have a horizontal major axis, and that's identified as the quantity of x minus h squared over a squared plus the quantity of y minus k squared over b squared equal to 1. And here's our horizontal major axis. Now the second equation is that of a vertical major axis. And notice we still have the quantity of x minus h squared first, except in this case b to the second is listed first, and y minus k to the second power is over a squared, and the equation is still equal to 1. And the vertical major axis ellipse, it has the looks like it's rotated 90 degrees, so it's lying up and down. So the value of A represents the distance from the center to the major axis vertices. So A always represents the distance of the major axis. If the value of A is located underneath the x minus h squared, then we have a horizontal major axis. If the value of A is located under the y minus k squared, then we have a vertical major axis. So here we are, we're going to graph the ellipse. X squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. So now the larger of the 2 values always represents A. So in this case, 25 is larger than 9, so 25 is taking the value of A to the second, and 9 is taking the value of B to the second. Since A is underneath my x squared variable, I know that this ellipse is going to have a horizontal major axis. So the first thing we need to do is find the center, and the center at this case, the value of h and k, are located at the origin, because x and y, there's nothing being added to or subtracted from the values of x and y. So my center, h and k, is located at the origin. Next, we need to identify the major axis is vertical or horizontal, and as we previously stated, since 25 is the larger of the 2 values and it's located under my x variable, my horizontal axis is going to be the major axis. And now we need to find the values of a and b. So the square root of 25 is 5, which gives me the value of a, and the square root of 9 is 3, which gives me the value of 3. So I know A is my horizontal major axis, so I count 5 units to the right and 5 units to the left. And I know B represents my vertical axis, which is my minor axis, so I count 3 units up and 3 units down to represent the vertices of my minor axis. So I've got 4 coordinates, 5, 0, 0, negative 3, negative 5, 0, and 0, 3. And now lastly, I'm going to draw a smooth curve that passes through all 4 vertices. And that is how we graph an ellipse. In our next example, we have the equation x minus 1 squared over 4 plus y minus 3 squared over 36 equal to 1. So again, I need to start by identifying the center. So in this case, 1 is being subtracted from x and 3 is being subtracted from y. So I have the center is located at 1, 3. Now we need to identify if my major axis is vertical or horizontal. So in this case, the largest of the two denominators is located under my y variable. So 36 represents the value of A, which is my major axis. So my major axis in this case is going to be vertical. Now I need to find the values of A and B. A represents the square root of 36, which is 6, and B represents the square root of 4, which is 2. So I count 6 units up and 6 units down from the center, which puts me at the coordinates 1, 9 and 1, negative 3. And since the value of B is equal to 2, I count 2 units to the left and to the right of the center, which puts me at negative 1, 3 and 3, 3. Now I need to draw a smooth curve that passes through all 4 vertices. And there we have it. There's the ellipse of the equation, the quantity of x minus 1 squared over 4 plus y minus 3 squared over 36 equal to 1. So that wraps up our lesson. Please email us if you have any questions, and good luck on the quiz.